Hello and welcome to another We Wonder. Today we're talking a little bit more about some of the competitive advantages of We Insure, and one of those strong competitive advantages is accounting. We use that term a lot, in our national expansion. We talk to folks all the time and they're saying, what is accounting? Are you paying our people for us? Are you handling payroll? No, we're not paying your payroll. We are actually going out there and providing all of these other services. And so I have a couple folks here today. I've got Dominic here, who is our CFO, and I've got Corey, and both of them work in our accounting department. Obviously, Dominic heads up everything we do on the accounting side. And so I'm going to ask you, Dominic, so we've had this service as part of our offering at We Insure since its inception 12 years ago, right?
Absolutely, since day one. And I want to start off by saying thank you for inviting us. Accounting is not always the most prominent department in a company. In fact, I saw a video online somewhere that they were sending a message: if you don't want to discuss what you do at work, tell people you're an accountant. And that kind of shuts down the conversation. But I want to start off big picture. Here at accounting, we are the mothership of the We Network. So we take our financial stewardship of the whole financial process very seriously. So from the top part, from top down, we're keeping an eye on cost. We are looking at, we plan every day. And long-term, short-term, and we have to quantify those things. We're doing forecasting, we're monitoring, we're measuring, and most importantly, keeping an eye on profitability and growth and cash flow. So those are typical accountant things that are very important to keep a company healthy, viable, and moving towards the future with great growth. But yes, to your point, we do provide several key value-added services to all of our agencies. We've been doing it since day one, and we're continuously looking at those processes, evaluating them, trying to enhance how we do it, when we do it, what else can we do. So I'm going to have, this is Corey Rainier. He's our accounting manager, and I'm going to have him give you a rundown of those three primary areas that are our value adds.
Hi, everyone. I'm Corey. The first primary function that the accounting department handles for our agencies is customer payments. So that is every deposit that is deposited into our trust account, or it's commonly called an escrow account too. We review every single deposit that comes into the account and meticulously review it and ensure that all documentation is collected, and then route it in a timely manner to our carrier partners, so that to ensure that your insured has coverage still.
So Corey, we typically call that agency bill, right? So
yes.
A customer, when you sell a policy to a customer, that customer is either going to pay the carrier directly, or the agency will be involved. And so when the agency is involved, we partner with them, as you said, in getting that payment and making sure it's not just delivered to the carrier, to the appropriate carrier, but what's the most important thing we strive to do.
So the other part is making sure that first off, that we retain the commissions and ensure that you get paid. And then the second thing is we're ensuring that the full premium is collected and that the customer's policy doesn't cancel either from a timing issue or from a reconciliation issue of the agent had a transposal issue and collected the wrong amount of money, and so
our make the payment on time.
Yes. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things here, as we're talking through some of these things, Corey, one of the most important things that Dominic mentioned earlier was, you can't run your business without knowing the numbers, right? You can't just go through the day and say, oh, I hope everything works out. And when we have so many carriers available to you, the last thing you want to do is figure out how I'm going to do all the reconciliation, make sure everything's on time. And you'd have to hire someone on your staff to do that, right? So in this case, what we're doing is we're leveraging everything that happens here at headquarters, specifically in our accounting department, to handle all that. And then we have reports that come from it.
Yes. So the reconciliation process, which I've talked to a couple of different independent agencies, and they've said that they've used to have at least 1 to 2 people on their team that handled that. So our corporate office handles all of that for you. So we reconcile line by line from our carrier statements directly into the system to ensure that all of your commissions are allocated properly according to your splits for new and renewal, and also your producers. And those commissions lead directly into the reports that provide the analysis and insights for you to make your managing decisions for your agency. The first and second report go hand in hand, which is the agency statement producer report. And the producer report details every commission that we received on your behalf. And we split it out by producer. So if you have 18 producers, you're going to get a report that details every single one of those producers split out individually, so that way you can see how much those producers are producing for your office and how much you told us that you would like to pay them. So those reports are handled on a monthly basis. And the agency statement takes it a little bit further for you to take the total commission that you received for your office, details all of the various operational expenses that you have with your franchise associated with We Insure, and then lists out what direct deposit you'll receive in your agency, along with a year-to-date for you to see everything that relates to that agency statement on a year-to-date basis as well.
So Chris, many of our agencies, as they grow, when they add producers, which is a great sign that you're growing, they may want to incentivize those producers differently when they first bring them on versus later when they're higher producers, generate a lot more production. And if an agency that wants to have a different compensation structure in terms of commission splits, we can facilitate tracking that.
Nice.
And we get that into the system, and then there will be a customized producer report for each producer in that agency, and everything's already calculated with a detailed itemized policy listing of all policies. And then the reports that Corey mentioned, I think he's the key word there, that they provide great insight, because those reports will show you your monthly production by premium, your new business, your renewal business, how much commissions that production has generated by month, rolling 12, year to date. So we're putting a lot of information out there to help agencies compensate their producers, plan their production. We're doing, and Corey, to his credit, compiles all this data and distributes it. So we're doing a great job there. But like I said earlier, we're always looking to refine and enhance, and agency feedback is an important part of that.
Well, I can tell you, guys, I appreciate you joining me today, because what a lot of people don't understand is how much behind the scenes occurs in every one of our departments, right? So an accounting seems easy. They're just doing some accounting. The reality of is putting those reports together and leveraging our internal teams allows you to focus on what? Sales, right? So we want you out there growing your book. We want you to be able to manage your agency with reports that you're getting from us, and not have to outsource that or do it yourself or spend 2 or 3 days a month going through everything. It's concise, it's straightforward, and you know that our team is working professionally behind the scenes to do all of that for you. So it's one of those things I'm glad I had you on today, because it really helps us understand that there's so many layers behind the scenes. So you can call up and have a question. Hey, I don't understand my statement, or I understand what's just happening. We can go through that with you, and you'll have an answer right away, rather than saying, I'm going to wait and talk to, my accountant in a month or so and figure out what I'm doing. This is, always available to you all the time. So we have not only our support teams, our carrier relationship teams, our marketing teams, but our accounting team is centralized, central part of what you do day to day that you don't have to do, actually. So it makes it that much easier. So I appreciate you guys joining and sharing some insight to what we handle on a day-to-day basis here. And again, we look forward to talking to you more See you next week on next week's We Wonder.